Hello, hello. Welcome back for chapter 2 of Salt in the Wound. We are back and ready to get stuck in. So get yourself a drink and maybe a snack and read with me. We are doing Waking Up. I woke up to a comforting warmth. My eyes focused on the room around me as I slowly sat up, though the pain in my leg instantly reminded me that I was injured. I saw a beautiful wood fireplace, freshly managed, its flames sending dancing shadows across exposed beamed walls. I was in a cabin. I looked around the room some more and noticed that an old frayed quilt lay folded neatly on a low wooden bench, and a line of clothes, shirts and worn sweaters was strung near the window. The earthy scent of burning wood mingled with the faint aroma of lavender from a small vase on the mantel. A quiet reminder of a time when comfort wasn't a luxury. Every detail, from the creaking wooden floor underfoot to the soft glow of the fire, invited me to stay silent and take it all in. That's when I realised my own clothes were hanging to dry on that line. I panicked, thinking I must be naked. I quickly threw off the blankets laid over my body and sighed in relief that I was clothed. That's when reality hit. Someone had changed me. I was horrified. Who? Why? Then I looked down at my leg. It was wrapped in clean bandages, but the pain shot through me in waves, unbearable. I tried to sit up, gritting my teeth. The moment I moved, a man walked into the room. He was dressed in full ski gear, a ski mask covering his face. My heart slammed in my chest, panic rising. I jerked back instinctively. Whoa, whoa, take it easy. Easy does it, he said, his voice calm but firm. I swallowed hard. Who are you? Who changed me? How did I get here? He sat down beside the bed without hesitation, reaching for my leg. His hand was surprisingly gentle, though it made the pain flare up again. It'll probably still hurt for a while. You really did a number on it. Why were you out there in that blizzard? I jerked my leg away from his touch and yelped at the pain. Through gritted teeth I asked, Who are you? More forcefully this time. My name's Sam, he said, pulling his hand back. My daughter Carrie, she's in the other room. She's the one who changed you. I found you up on the mountain while I was coming down from a hunt. You'd have died if I hadn't found you. There's 10 feet of snow out there now. We're completely snowed in. I blinked, trying to take it all in. Oh, well, thank you, I managed, my mind still foggy. Can you take me back to my house? If you found me on the mountain, we must not be far from my place. He shook his head, his tone soft but firm. I'm afraid you can't travel in your condition. And even if you could, we couldn't. Like I said, 10 feet of snow, we can't get out. You'll have to stay here for a while until it calms down. We have the extra room. I hesitated, my mind racing. Stay here with him? I wasn't sure, but it was my only option. Okay, I guess, but my voice trailed off and I found myself staring at his mask. What's with the mask? Can't you take it off inside? He let out a slow breath, like he'd been waiting for the question. I had an accident a few years ago up on the mountain. Frostbite. Took most of my face. It's easier to keep it on. To keep it covered. For Carrie's sake. There was something unsettling about the way he said it. Like he was hiding something more. But I didn't press. I was too tired, too confused. The storm outside raged on and I had nowhere else to go. I spent the next hour staring at the ceiling above the bed, trying to wrap my head around everything. Sam didn't say much more. He made a pot of stew, handed me a bowl. He sat on the floor next to my bed and we ate in silence. The fire crackled in the background, but there was a tension in the air that made my skin crawl. His daughter Carrie came and went. She didn't say much either. She was quiet. Maybe too quiet for a girl her age. She had soft brown hair that framed her pale face, eyes that never met mine. She'd glance at me, but then immediately look away, like she was afraid to hold my gaze. The storm howled outside, and Sam was right. There was no way I could leave. There was nothing to do but wait. After a while, Sam went outside to check on the snowdrift around the cabin. I watched him from the window, the figure of a man in thick winter gear, trudging through the deep snow until he disappeared from view. I felt a pang of unease. There was something off about him, but I couldn't put my finger on it. The way he moved, his gestures, everything felt deliberate, controlled. Carrie stayed in the other room, but I could hear the soft shuffle of her footsteps. She wasn't making noise exactly, but there was a constant presence. I needed to use the bathroom. My legs screamed as I stood up, but I ignored it, needing to stretch my muscles. When I walked out of my room, I quickly realised how tiny this cabin was. The living room was modest, a snug area dominated by a beautiful wood fireplace similar to the one that had greeted me. A threadbare sofa, its cushions flattened by time, sat opposite a small worn coffee table. A faded rug, patterned with something that might once have been vibrant, covered part of the creaking wooden floor, adding a touch of softness to the otherwise rugged space. Dust motes floated lazily in the firelight, and every surface bore the marks of a place that had seen both warmth and hardship. Next to the living room, the kitchen was even more confined, a tiny nook with a well-used stove that still bore the stains of many meals cooked by hands seeking comfort and simplicity. A small round table occupied the centre, surrounded by mismatched chairs. Cabinets hung haphazardly on the walls, the doors slightly ajar, as if inviting a curious glance into their contents. The aroma of yesterday's stew mingled with the lingering scent of wood smoke, a reminder that even in this cramped sanctuary life had its routines. Every corner of the cabin told a story of survival and small resilient comforts, of someone who fought to maintain a semblance of home even when the world outside was less forgiving. It looked similar to my new home, but ravaged by time. I turned and limped down a narrow hall, pushing doors open until I found a small, dimly lit bathroom. The air was thick in here, and when I turned on the overhead light, the flickering bulb did little to chase away the shadows. I stared at my reflection in a cracked mirror. My face was pale, my hair tangled, but it was my leg that was hardest to look at. The bandages were soaked through, and I knew it wouldn't be long before the pain came back in full force. I gritted my teeth, trying not to think about it. That's when I heard a faint sound coming from the other room. A thump, followed by the soft scrape of something across the floor. I froze. I wasn't sure if I'd imagined it. I didn't know how long I stood there, staring at the bathroom door, trying to listen. My heart hammered in my chest, the air suddenly feeling too tight, too close. "I can help if you need," Carrie said as she opened the bathroom door. I flinched, but I didn't turn around. I'm fine. I can do it," I said, my voice shaking slightly, though I tried to hide it. But Carrie didn't stop. She stepped closer, her voice low but insistent. "You need a shower. I'll help you." "I can do it." I turned, half gesturing to the space around me. I don't know you like that." For a long moment there was silence. I heard the shuffle of her footsteps as she entered, and then the faint click of the bathroom door behind her. I stiffened as she came closer. "Don't worry. We're both girls," she said, her tone soft and unnervingly calm. "I can help." I swallowed, feeling the tension coil tighter in my chest. What the hell is going on here? I hesitated, but something inside me, something strange and uneasy, forced me to say, "All right, just lock the door." The sound of the door clicking was final. It echoed in the small bathroom like a prison door. She didn't ask again. She just went to work, first helping me out of my clothes, then assisting me with the shower. Her hands were gentle but precise, almost clinical in how she moved, washing me in silence. It felt wrong, but it also felt familiar. Like she was used to taking care of someone like this. The sensation made my skin crawl, but I didn't know how to stop her. My leg burned, my body ached, and her presence was almost hypnotic, quiet, unrelenting. She didn't flinch once. As she helped me wash my hair, her fingers brushing through the tangles, I glanced at her again. I had assumed she was older, but as I looked closer, I realised she was no older than about 14. A shiver crawled down my spine as I caught her eyes in the mirror. Her expression was composed, too distant for someone her age. And then it hit me. Had she done this for other people? I couldn't help the thought. It lingered there, sticking in the back of my mind as she continued to move around me, cleaning, redressing me like it was all completely natural. Then she helped me to the bed and tucked me in. When she finished, she stepped back, eyes studying me for a moment before giving a quiet nod, like she checked something off a list. All right, you're all set. Blinked, the unease in my stomach growing stronger. Thanks, I muttered, pulling the blankets up tighter to my chest. Carrie just nodded, her lips curling into a small burly there smile. She walked towards the door. She opened it and stepped out into the hallway and closed it quietly behind her. Oh my goodness, so now we know the protagonist is a girl. I had a feeling, I don't know what it was, there was just something about it, because it was setting it up, this hunter, this person going out, they'd done all of this, but there was something just saying this is going to be a girl. But I'm so excited to see what is to come next. I'm not even going to keep chatting because I'm going to film the next episode now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit that little bell so that you get notified when I upload the next ones. And yeah, if you know any scary stories that I should be reading out, then let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.